Dragons hoard treasure. So if you were a dragon, what would your hoard be?
Oh man, let's see. Probably money and a bunch of music equipment so I can make my next album.
I think that's a really good answer, and I imagine a lot of musicians would kind of say the same thing.
Have I gone insane? Probably the way my demons follow me. This looks like the end of me, and everyone is looking like an enemy. I can't tell who's real or pretend to be, losing all hope and range of energy.
I want to hear first about your inspiration.
My inspirations, I look up to Allen Ginsberg, Jack Kerouac. Those guys really started me taking my writing more seriously. And then what got me into rapping was The Impossible Kid, the album by A$AP Rock, which is where I got my name, obviously. Wu-Tang Clan, Joey Badass, Dr. Dre, and probably IMJ Kill.
So how did you get into rapping? I know you had a more metal background.
Well, back in high school, I would write just about anything and everything, lyrics, poems, hardcore songs, rap songs. And it wasn't until Satana started waning, and I was also in another band at the time called Dutch Rudder, playing guitar for them. And that started to wane, and I was with my friend Joel at the time, who was in Dutch Rudder, shout out Manic, and he basically, we had a talk, and he inspired me to get DAW and start making beats. And then after I started making beats, I'm like, wow, I could write lyrics to these. So I started taking rap more seriously and all that fun stuff. If I hadn't experimented with my lyrics when I was a teenager, I probably wouldn't even have considered rap.
How is rap then different from your other musical expressions?
I guess it's what I've always wanted to do, just be honest and transparent with my music. When I was in Treason 319, some of your viewers may or may not know what band that is. We were sort of a junk punk band, like we just made jokes with our songs. And then with Satana, I try to have a little more emotional depth. And then I sort of combine the two, sense of humor and a little bit of emotional depth with rap, and just it allows me to be completely transparent and how I want to be with my music.
All right, we're going to get a little bit more into your actual album now. The first song, The Quest, you mentioned the beginning of the quest. I'd like to know what you think the end would be.
Well, I wrote that song sort of as a statement of, this is my beginning, this is my start into my own thing. I'm not sharing it with anyone. I mean, sure, I collab with people and I work with you. I guess the end of the quest would just be me dying, because the quest is just a better life for me and the ones around me.
Okay, on kind of the other side, you mentioned demons quite a bit in your songs. Just to name a few, it's Stigmatized and Ashes to Dust. I was curious if you would share what your demons are and maybe what your relationship is with them.
I deal with bipolar disorder, depression. Recently just got diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder and anxiety and ADHD. So I have a multitude of mental illnesses, and just sometimes day-to-day life gets in the way of me living. How I fight those demons is I make this music and I write.
Why did you end your album with spoken word?
Much like Watsky, I was a spoken word poet before I was a rapper, and I sort of took those skills and applied them. At least on Spotify, all of his albums, not a lot of spoken word, if at all, and I just wanted to mix the two. I've seen other rappers do it. I thought it was a neat idea, and I had a bunch of spoken word poems laying around, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna read one for my album. I'm a poet at heart, and I need to show that. I didn't want to be like your average rapper. I just wanted to add more poetics and more literary devices and literary techniques. Even though rappers do it, I wanted to do it my way, full force, and just see it how crazy I can get with my lyrics.
Since we are talking about poets, you did have the song Edgar Allan Crow,
Yes.
which I'll admit it kind of creeped me out at the very beginning, which I guess was part of the intention.
Yeah.
Is he a big inspiration for you then?
Yeah, I actually have Edgar Allan Poe's collected poems and tales in a book about this big, and it's a hardcover book and each page has a silver binding around it.
Wow.
So when it's closed, it's a silver book with black hardcover and like red etched into it. It's one of the most beautiful books I've seen, and Edgar Allan Poe was actually the first poet I remember in middle school that really made me consider writing or just appreciate poetry, even if I didn't write. He was a romantic, but he wasn't like, oh, I'm going to look for something greater than life romantic. No, he was more of a horror romantic, and that's what I like about him.
All right, so towards the end, you say one of the most interesting lines I think I've ever heard. Sovereignty in myself.
Yes, that has made all the difference, and I have found sovereignty in myself. I wrote that at a camping trip, tripping acid. I had just felt like an old soul afterwards. I had felt like I had seen the universe, and it was a very spiritual and blissful experience to be out in nature.
I know just a little bit about your own personal backstory, and I know that now a lot of people are going to learn more about it through your music and how open you are about everything. I was wondering what you would say to someone right now who's going through a similar situation.
Hang in there. I know it sucks to hear that, but just fucking hang in there, dude. It gets better. I was at the worst part of my life a year and a half ago. My dad had cancer, he beat it now, and he's now working again, which is good. And I got heavy into drinking, and no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, there's always hope. There is always hope. You cannot hold too fast to hope ever. Hope is what keeps us going as a race. And that's my belief, is a hope for a better tomorrow, a hope for a better future, and a hope for a better year.
Is that what you want your music to show to people?
Oh yeah. I mean, sure, when you listen to it, it's dark and it's depressing, but when you look at the face that made it, it's happy. It's carefree, because I got all that shit out on paper. Why do I need to hold it in? But, if you're going through a tough time, just hang in there. Try and find something you're passionate about, and then maybe you'll get out. But life is definitely going to be hard, and you just gotta stick through it. Like my dad said, that's the way life goes. First your money, then your clothes.
So then would you encourage everybody else out there to look to music as a way to express themselves and sort of get all this out?
Look to music, look to art, look to whatever you want to do. That just doesn't infringe on other people. Just do what makes you happy.
All right, any last words?
Check out The Impossible Kid on Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, Amazon Music, Deezer, and stay tuned for Manic and The Impossible Kid. You ain't ready for this shit, son.
All right, thank you.